Hello again, everyone. Chris May here of Australia, just waiting for my co-commentator Jesse Matthews to join me in the booth, and we are about to watch a game between Singapore's Hubert Wee and Jesse Day, America, who we've seen in action several times this tournament. They're just bagging the tiles now, and it will be Hubert to kick off. I'm aware that there is a problem with the event website, so the current standings are not available. What I've just asked the tournament staff to do is print us off the current standings in the Premier Division. So hopefully they're going to be passing us that information in a couple of minutes. We can relay it to you, both verbally, and I'll type the top 10 or so into the chat so that you can see exactly what the current standings are. Meanwhile, as this game gets underway, I think we should probably introduce Hubert Wee for any viewers who may not be so familiar with him. This is his first game on the top table.
Yeah, it's nice to see him. Sorry to interrupt you on the table finally, because anyone who knows Hubert that's played in Southeast Asia or in Australia, he's a fantastic player. He's good, but good. Really has just not always had things bounce his way in critical situations.
I think that's very fair comment. Hubert's he's a young guy, but he's been around a long time. I think I played in Australia in 2004 or 2005, and he was extremely good then. Far better than I was at the time, certainly. And, if my memory serves, he had a top 10 result in the Worlds as far as 2007. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
He's been around. He knows all the tricks. So we can see some very good play from him, I think. It's Jesse, who may have, despite even temperament, may have been feeling a little rattled after the last two rounds, I'd say. Big mistakes in those two rounds. You know, no one likes making a huge blunder when you're being streamed live. And it can stick in the next round. Hoping that Jesse will bounce back with a solid game here, and hopefully we'll get a good contest.
Yeah, we know he's very capable of leaving the past in the past with all of his games. That's strengths. Hubert in particular, one thing that he's really strong on is some of his longer words on the basement. Also, sometimes where he's found a 9 or a 10 or something. Business not having a moment.
Yeah, very, very solid. Selectable opening racks that he's got to work with. And the play
Flex, yeah.
Is there even anything you're looking at?
No, because something like foot, like PHT or whatever, is a bad lead. Not really worth it. I think I'm probably just blocking Flex. And Jesse's got a set up in his rack, so strong. Something like that. I'm probably going to give position allowed for it. Stand out for him, but
you might just think that keeps it marginally more simplistic. In fact, no, I haven't taken it back. It doesn't work. I think Flex. And the default position would be putting the E on the star, I'd say.
I am in agreement with that.
He's taking his time, settling into the table. No reason not to do that.
Okay.
No, it's a really different feeling. You move to the annotated table. You're elevated, you're way away from everyone, you're under quite different light. And you know full well that I'm here and Jesse's here in the booth, which Hubert's on the side of the board where he can see the peripheral vision and almost has a all of that takes some adjusting, and
he's playing foot. Interesting. I had suggested kind of tongue-in-cheek, probably wasn't good enough for it. But
very, very tight play. I don't mean that in terms of his mental condition. I mean, not convinced myself.
I don't think I would.
I think points from Plex, and actually the leave from Plex, with point towards it being a stronger play. LENX is the lead. Doesn't really, the left's not very much. It's a little bit bingo-y, a little bit scory. X isn't the best value in X. The L and the X don't go together particularly well. The L and the N don't go together particularly well. So two tile synergies in the back are not very strong at all. And also there's a question of where do these tiles go the next turn.
So bogey, Okay, makes sense,
But
especially after that play.
Kenji thinks that PhD is, quote, actually reasonable. I'd love to hear more of the reasoning behind it, because for me it looks like a clear second to flex. Jesse makes what looks like a very standard play. Bogey keeping IT. Really. And the thing that could have, well, one of the things that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for Hubert. He's settled with some consonants, and other than Oxen, that O, there aren't very many obvious solutions.
Yeah, probably just going to be the
So, I mean, the reasoning that we seem to be getting from Kenji and Craig in favour of PHT is essentially the short-term block, the defensive value. It reduces the opponent's next play considerably. I mean, I take that point as being an advantage of the move, but when you head up against the more leadership advantages of flex, I'm really still not convinced. And I'm on a microphone. So
there you go. There goes Watson. Yeah, perfectly sound. So then for Jesse, lots of eyes, one scoring balls. How he deals with that, that's
ugly rack.
Quite.
Going in a lot of different directions. I mean, you don't want to feel like you're wasting the Z, right? Quote, wasting the Z. Mm-hmm. But the letters aren't there to make much of that Z, and 3 eyes and a U, that's your most pressing problem. That's what leads you on a time. As if when you're so he's going to be thinking hard about plays like even AITU.
I2 is
ugly, ugly though that is.
Meanwhile, Hubert's got a nice rack on the top.
Jesse may even change here. I think it's a bit. Well, people might disagree about what to keep. I think I'd probably keep AZ if I was going to change. But there's certainly scope for reasonable minds to differ on that one. Hubert loves the pickup, and he'll bingo no trouble at all on the next turn, I would think.
It has been suggested as a play for Jesse to the X and walks in.
Spotted that.
Nice one, James. Hello, hello.
Yeah, I like him here a lot now. Best we've seen. Again, for those who might be joining us, we're not using Crackle to find plugins as we see it, and only occasionally use Zizavit to check racks. So entirely likely that we'll overlook good plays as we just did with X. Do chime in and let us know.
There you go.
Jesse finds it. And now we wait to see what Hubert do with his bingo rack.
Well, he's got any number of things like negligee and pian works from 11G. I'm sure there's better, but that just comes to mind right away. Needling from the end and walks in, but it doesn't score quite as much. And we have standings over on it right here.
We do have standings. So I'm going to give you standings as they are currently after round 12 in the Premier Division. And I'm going to read out, let's say, top.
I think down to, let's just do top 10.
Yeah, I'll give you top 10. And also type them into the chat. And that's, you can consult them if you're interested in doing that. So it's actually a very, very tight 12 rounds. No one has more than 9 wins out of the 12, and there are 4 players tied on 9 wins. They are Jesse Day, who's still in top position, 9 wins and a margin of 6-3, followed by Mark Hyman.
Stormed this morning, early.
Stormed this morning, making his way to the field, and that's what a King of the Hill can do. Mark Hyman had 9 wins and 460. He will be playing on table 1 in the next round against Jesse Day. Third place, is also on 9 wins and a margin of 4-4-1 is Harsha Amavatasuria. And he'll be playing Nigel Richards, 9 wins and 4-3-5 on table 2, round 14. So those are the top 9 wins. Jesse has a slight margin lead, but one player on 8.5, that's Hubert. 8.5 and a 3-2-3 spread in position. And then 4 more players, only a game behind the lead on 8. They are Ichai, you've seen in 6th place almost the whole time. He's on 8 wins. Actually, seems to have the best spread of the field, a 7-4 spread, quite impressive. So Singapore, 8 wins and 5-3-5, coming 7th. And Australia's Russell Honeybarn is coming 8th with 8 wins and a 2-7-6 margin. And then Cholapat is a high player, 8 wins and 13. He's 9th. Dave Wiegand is the sole player on 7.5 and rounds out the top 10. His margin is 368. And then there are 11 players who have 7 wins, and that's still only 2 off the lead. And there's some extremely strong players in there: Andy Fisher, Esther Prones, David Elbach, Alistair Richards, David Webb. Besides, really some players who have 7 wins. So as you can see, it's a very, very bunched field, and Nigel's back to run away yesterday with his 8-0 start. It's been somewhat neutralised now, although in 4th position he's still very much favoured to take this tournament now. So there you have the top 10. I'm now typing in to chat while Jesse talks about this rack that she's still thinking about.
Yeah.
Maybe there are no very strong players. I see Needling simply, but he's maybe looking for things better than that.
I was looking for like negligee and pianist. I guess placed hearing as the other Harlan. Oh, negligee actually fits the Ian Watson. That's the best one.
Negligee and the Ian Watson, I was just thinking. Yeah. I like them a lot. Anyway.
Oh, interesting. He has opted for lineage, so he's not seen negligee in the fit underneath. Still bonuses, but just a slight equity. Jesse's rack here is not too bad. Obviously no bonus plays to be had in there, but with a Z on there and a B, he's got some nice letters to score well with. Meanwhile, Hubert has got Vronker or something like this. 1 O and then KB and some other consonants, so taking some time to scuffle through that.
Okay, so there's your top 10. If you're curious about how any other specific player in the field is doing, just let us know in the chat and I can tell you how they've done after 12 games. Meanwhile, so what's happened?
We're on Jesse. Still, he replaced lineage. He is J.
Yeah, well, one has to assume that's a miss, not a positional choice.
Yeah.
A little bit inaccurate, but I think he's very capable of finding that J play. And well, at least he has it on the board, noting that the other B played, so that danger hook is not. And well, I didn't really get a chance to look at that position, but it looks like a very reasonable play, and he's hit jaunty on the pickup. Which, I don't immediately see a home for, but could change after Hubert's play, depending on where he thinks is important to play this board with 35-point lead. Peter Kuji tells us in the chat that standings are now up to date, and indeed they are, so please go to the CausewayChallenge.com website. Check those standings if you're interested in details. In answer to Zev, though, I can tell you that David Eldar is currently in 14th place, 7 and 284 margin. And is down to play Esther Perrins in round 14.
So Icons is played by Hubert, and in response to Jaunties is being played very fast by Jesse down to there. There's nothing there really. Makes sense.
What is it I'm waiting to take this now?
Yeah.
BRR, I think.
Yeah.
Taking a calculated risk. It's come up poorly for him. That's not to say that all Icons is the wrong one.
It's hard to really find a great choice in that ring. Icons is the scoring one of all.
If anything, the time taken to play Icons, which seems to have gone down fairly fast.
Yeah.
I certainly thought that move merited consideration. He would have been looking at plays that were extremely different from the board management and leave considerations. And you're looking at qualitatively different moves in a mid-game position. Just always spending that extra minute to evaluate thoroughly.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Icons is down, Jaunties is down, and we now have a very close game, a 21-point difference with Hubert to play, and Varroa plus an N on his front. So Varroa at 10 is jumping out to the as a high-scoring play that keeps a beautiful two-tile lead, and doesn't give very much away at all. No, fully expecting to see that unless there's really good time missing. Anyone see anything better than Varroa, or shall we just leave dead air for a while until Hubert plays it?
There we go. It's down.
It's just the kind of play that jumps out instantly to a top player. Anyone who's learned that word isn't going to forget it.
Yeah.
And it's got everything for it positionally and in terms of almost the perfect play.
Meanwhile, Jesse's got some balancing here to do.
Yeah, not the most friendly cover. A few discrete problems with the rack. You know, no one really loves seeing AAOU on their rack. 5 vowels and, well, there's nothing really very appetizing. Looking at that G, G in lineage, quite hard to see if there's a balancing play through it.
I was looking and thinking, man, it'd be nice in Spanish where it's worked. Fuego, fire. Fuego is the closest one.
Yeah.
No fuego, no más.
Kind of rack where you might consider chucking out your A, O, U, A, U, A, and actually keeping a balanced rack that includes F. Mm-hmm. Having said that, you'd want guaranteed F places on the board to make that viable, and they just don't seem to be it here. None of the open letters are F friendly at all, so he's probably going to spend F and play off, I don't know, AFO, AFU, something like this.
Yeah, I was
somewhere.
looking for off in any decent position. I'm not seeing anything quickly. There's FU with a not quite as ideal leave at E11 to make her and 4. I'm not sure it's the best, but that's something that sort of does what we need to do. Give her a few of the vowels and the F.
So this is actually a very difficult play. It's the kind of play that you don't want to spend time thinking about. It's an annoying move.
Mm-hmm.
Your rack kind of sucks. Get closer to the next bingo. But it's really important that you find the best way of doing it. So it's just exactly the kind of play that deserves more than its average, more than the mean thinking time per move. And he needs to find something good. Frau, maybe FRAU. That's really the only thing I've seen that I half like, and I don't really like could go wrong. Pick up 2 irons. So you're really working hard to stay in the game score-wise. Has anyone seen a better play? Tell us in the chat. It's the kind of move that you really don't like having to concentrate on. It's a very annoying play. I'm nominating Fra, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong.
Freyna through the R and the N has been suggested. Scores more certainly.
Yeah, decent play. You don't like burning the E, but maybe you should here. I'd have that about on par with Fra. I'd find it quite hard to choose between those 2 options. People are liking it. There is an open E on the board as well.
There you
So
go.
there's less
Freyna's
reason to be
going down.
fearful. Goes down. Nice play. Nicely found to those who spotted it. So Hubert, straightforward bingo for him. And a lot depends on what Jesse pulls out.
So Adorned is going down, yep. This would be a good time for Jess to pull very nice and get something down the railing. But that is not the absolute garbage.
That is a horror draw.
But he's probably going to play something like Gods or Woes just to score.
Or Wadu.
Wadu,
That's how you say it, yeah. So, yeah, he's got some scoring options. I mean, his scoring options, his best scores are going to leave a pretty horrendous leaves. He's going to be reluctant, a little bit reluctant to go with them. Yours, I'm thinking of, for example, OUW. Well, that's a recipe for long-term rack damage. It's going to take quite a bit to solve.
And as Nietzsche mentioned, I was thinking as well, Voodoo is not as many points, but it's a little more balanced. But AYOS, I don't think it's quite good enough as they leave to. I don't know. I think either way, something that doesn't work.
What was the other play that you mentioned?
Woads, WOADS, but no, I would play the Y and the U over that.
So, I'd certainly play YADS over Woads, but I think that Wadu is best out of those 3.
Wait, Wadu?
WUDU.
Oh, is that how you say it?
I don't know, that's how I say it.
I'd say Voodoo.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure you're correct.
I don't know what's right, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah. Either way, it's going to be a bad leave no matter what. So.
Yeah, I think the least risk of ruin comes through cleaning up UU in one shot.
He's got it lined up in the rack, so he's thinking about it, certainly.
Are there options we haven't been tipping? May well be. Mullen Hill, Voodoo, automatic. Yeah, I sort of agree. It also sets up the Y actually quite nicely at N6. So it's an investment next turn as well, which seals the deal for me basically. But being a little critical of the time being taken for this move. But put this in context. This is a guy who's 51 points down with a bit of a dodgy rack. He's just lost 2 games in a row on the top table, both of which were winnable, both of which he made significant mistakes in. He doesn't want to do that again. He's thinking through these to make sure that he doesn't miss that stuff. He's having to make some quite tricky mid-game decisions. Freyner was by no means a straightforward move. Ixia took a bit of finding as well, and he absolutely found it.
Wagyu. Went for Wagyu.
He's decided that it's very, very important to solve the rat to maximize his leave, and he's gone with Wagyu. There's no way he missed Wadu, so that's a totally positional choice.
Yeah, that was intentional.
And that's a play that wasn't suggested in the chat. People were saying that Wadu was automatic. So what do you guys think of this choice that he's in fact made? Is it a brain explosion, or is it actually a very good play?
He's kept SOU left over on the rack, which, as far as leaves go, is one of the best things possible with whatever you do.
With Wudu actually setting up the Y for 30 points in a round. I have to say that I think Wagyu is wrong. That said, I understand his reason for playing. You know, he is trying to buy his way out of rat trouble.
Yeah, I would have probably played Voodoo fast without knowing if it was right. It just looks good to get rid of 2 U's and a W when you look pretty quickly at a rack like that, but yeah, it just seems to see this on instead.
We'll have to ask him his reasons for that. However, picked up a bingo, and it plays. Can't argue with that.
Hubert, meanwhile, is sitting with dreadful letters on the side of the board.
Yeah, what to say about that? Horrible rack.
And yes, Nietzsche, he's got some nice letters in his rack there now. Nice spot.
But I didn't really have much of a look at the pool before that move of Jesse's, but I see that there were 4 T's in it, and you know, a T with a sleeve, well, already starting to be really quite good. That may have been part of his thinking. I'd have liked the fact that at hook would open for a bit more, as well as the D.
And there he goes, he's playing it very quickly.
Hey, I'm a little surprised by that play of Doll from Hubert. That's a really psychology that move strikes me as defend costs.
Yeah.
No matter what the rack damage is, and he's choking the rack potentially for the next turn and only scoring 15 points. I wonder about that play a little bit, and I wonder if solving the rack as Jesse did. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Really, really, really tricky now, and he's on the defensive more of. I think a little bit more time might have been required for Dahl. We've seen this outscoring strategy almost, or defending twice now from his icons of Dahl, and hasn't gone super well for him either
Not a time, no.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't thought of a move that I like more than Dahl, but something one of the fouls in Adorned that gave him a little more flexibility in the leave might have been a bit better. So, let's take stock. Hubert's reeling slightly probably from that sequence.
Draw.
And he really needs to his rack out with a 23 point deficit here. So, we'll try and do that.
And does it work? This exchange is a not impossible, not unreasonable option at this point, but is there something that makes it worth playing through again?
Boy, I'm really wondering about that Dahl play. I wonder if there was a play from N6 down that managed to hook lineages, play through some tiles. It's all a bit nasty for Hubert right now. I see very little that I like with this rack, and I'm always thinking that a change might be obligatory.
Yeah, and the problem here is that with a change, Jesse can really go for the kill and block 2 spots at the same time with like goad from 6K. That basically is every single open bonus
Oh
lane.
yeah, it really gives the initiative up the change.
And Hubert's going to know that it's very blockable if he does exchange here. So yeah, he's just in a heap of trouble. But I think on principle, you have to.
I think Kenji's comment is correct. I think both Wagyu and Dole are very interesting plays. And well, Kenji, what do you think about? Tell us some of the advantages of it. To me, it looks like a defensive psychology play, but perhaps there is more going on. I sort of agree that the night time wasn't really uppermost, and it may well have been more of that whole sector of the board that he was working, rather than specifically the night time. And do you think it was affected maybe by whatever he heard after Jesse played Wagyu after a fair bit of thought? And if Wagyu was one player to solve the rack, then Jesse would have just plonked it right away. He didn't, so Hubert knows that there was things going on.
Yeah. Meta-analysis. This is the really hard part.
Yeah, and it's a real shame that we can't really cover psychology in real time as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're dependent to these players' moves. As you said, they're both top players. Still a bit surprised by Wagyu, and Dole I find a bit unfathomable. But having said that, we still haven't come up with even one candidate play that was better than Dole.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's suggested.
For Hubert, I'm looking in. I mean, it's blockable for Jesse to kill those spots after, but I just can't see anything other than exchange that can't open the board in a way that gives himself anything to do next turn. It's not really anything to score. One, like, would you just keep RS? You think, or
on the change?
Yeah. Or how many vowels are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Unseen to him plus the blank 27. Oh, that is.
In an average board, both the C and the M should be considered as a keep along with the RS. But here,
he doesn't want to block himself with anything he plays. So keeping the C is making the board cluttery for himself and the V. They're both blocking times.
It's a real tough one. He's got a score deficit to think about as well. So he has to play for a bingo, sure, but he has to make sure that he's not away with it.
What can he do that's more than 10?
Keeping the C on a change at least allows, for example, play down from H1 to 30, for example.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas if he's all 1 point pass, he can only play that 18 points. It's actually a big difference.
Sure.
I'm tempted to keep the C on a change here. Having said that, I really don't like it. I don't like anything. Can anyone find a play that's better than a change? I'd love to hear about it.
I'm trying to find something with the 2 U's or both of you. There's nothing.
The change cedes so much board control to Jesse. It's really ugly. And people knows that full well. He's looking hard here.
For anything that makes it worth playing.
Yeah.
Because the typical decision would be an exchange. That would have been done minutes ago, but this position makes let's do that. Creme was suggested for Ian and Dorn. I'm not really sure. It takes out the best of the potential bonus lanes and doesn't give anything back really. It doesn't score all that much, so Jesse still has a lead and can just tiles down and keep things locked up.
I mean, I feel like Jesse can make a board here where a 20 to 30 point lead, even this far out from the end, is a really quite significant lead. If you look at the pool, the only big scoring tile left is the Q. Well, it plays for 31, which is a factor that I guess we should be thinking about. But other than that, you know, a 30-point lead looks pretty good here, even with a blank concede. Things like cramps, whatever Jesse does next, it can make it look great to have a 30-point lead. Unless we see something from H1, you know, throws the board wide open and allows for possibilities.
Kenji, could you elaborate on what you mean by, well, it must be nice? I'm not sure what you're referring to there.
Well, we can all agree with that.
Yeah, Kenji, but still, what do you mean by, well, it must be nice?
So with this length of time on the move, I think what we may be seeing, one speculation, is essentially a psychological about changing. He knows that he really doesn't want to change here because it gives so much initiative to Jesse. He's not finding any new plays, right, by looking at the board.
No.
He knows what his options are right now, and he's probably looking at cram or change. If to change, then does he keep the scoring time for the RS core?
Oh, are we frozen? Yeah, the camera's not moving for us. Oh. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, we've just realized that we have a frozen screen.
Oh.
So sorry about that.
Okay, now that makes sense, Kenji, because yeah, holy cow.
Yeah.
So he played Krem.
Could you guys fill us in? What's actually happened? We were stuck on the Hubert or so please
Krem happened.
please let us know what went down.
So Hubert must have played Krem and then Spiv, but what Jesse did.
He must have played a glow. Nice play.
Yeah. So Krem, then a Glow, then Spiv, then Cove is what I'm guessing was the sequence. Okay, yeah, Nietzsche is confirmed in the chat that was the sequence.
Thank you very much. So I think we're back, and Tentorio goes down for Hubert. So he's done really well for himself there, clearing up that all
Nice couple of turns, yeah.
Yeah. Guys in the crew, we'd love to get the Crackle feedback. Thank you. So let's take stock. Hubert retakes the lead, 24 points up. And is it an endgame that we have suddenly?
Seems like it. I'm not sure what add host /8 means. Hubert apparently drew TI blank to NRT on his rack. Wow. After spin. That draw.
Wow. He played his way out of trouble. Gutsy.
But there's a Q. Oh yeah, he can't Q stick him because there's a 30-point spot and there's the 11-point spot. But he's got to take out the 30-point spot clearly.
So we've got an endgame on our hands.
So if he played something like hand to score and block it.
Or hands.
Or hands, there you go, yeah. Hands.
Hands looks, well, it leaps out, doesn't it? Massive score.
Oh wait, yeah, he's got hands.
Massive score, and presumably an easy out too with dot, although I haven't seen it enough to make sure. Oh. maybe not so easy. See, Dalton don't, but the Q play puts both of those out.
That's looking like hands to me, but
well, Hans is also available, and that does create guaranteed outs with Datto in 2 places.
oh yeah.
So that looks like an easy enough spot. So sorry about the lag in the commentary, guys. It took us ages to realise that we were behind the play. This is why it's so important that you guys contribute to the chat.
Yeah, with the setup, you can see when you're looking at the clap view, there's just a small video picture in the top left corner. So they're just sitting there sometimes. Can't always tell if the feed's frozen. But I finally looked about 10 seconds and saw that Jesse's head did not move, which I'm used to seeing when I watch him long enough. But neither did Hubert, so sorry. Sometimes the feed just freezes on our big screen.
So I think actually correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But it looks like Jesse has a pretty straightforward attitude victory here with Hans, which means that we can, if that's correct, then I'm sure he's going to play it, and we can select back the game a little bit. And actually, we've seen an extremely steady game from Jesse here.
Yeah.
Really very, very good, especially after tilting a little bit over the last 2 rounds, with an absolutely intriguing mid-game decision of Woku, which nobody before he played it nominated as a good play. Everyone thought he was going to play through W to U, and of course he's come out nicely with the better of the cards in the endgame. But it's a well-deserved victory, I think. We can see here he played excellently in the spot. Ixia, Freya, none of those played very particularly obvious moves. A glow is a really excellent play to keep the board steady, maintain a small lead, even though Hubert been going there. Necessarily easy to hit, and Hubert had to get a really good draw to hit it. And meanwhile, Jesse kept a good kernel of letters and those other that are letting him win this endgame against the Q. So you have to say congratulations to Jesse here. He's played a really very, very strong game from start to finish. Calculated additional choices for extra rewards. Hubert made a couple of inaccurate plays. Lineage, maybe with Dahl, although haven't really seen a refutation of from anybody, and he's going to deservedly walk out the winner here.
The only small detail that might have Jesse pausing is Hans has been talked about, but if I'm not mistaken, that may be Collins only. Let me just double check that. Yeah, it is. So it's possible he doesn't know that for certain, and is looking at hands instead and trying to worry about having dope blocked potentially, but it's not going to matter. He's probably still going to win, but I'm just trying to think of any reason he might be playing right away. Well, hence leaves Dodo, as Kennedy suggests. Dodo in 2 spots, so
his hands. Okay, so
there
he's gone for the safe one.
Yeah, the one that he knows.
Yep.
So he'll play out 2 Dodo
and,
spot.
I mean, maybe that's even optimal, but let's say it isn't and Hans is better. That's exactly what he should have done. Right? 100%.
Yeah.
The familiar word list can argue with that.
And then even besides that, I think Hance, as they're saying, might actually give 1 more point in the endgame. As a result, and Edo, Greg mentions from the Ian Tentoria, is available after that. So,
but I see hands on the. No, he has played hand with the Fuckle still behind. Let's play. Could you comment that Jesse tries to play option?
It is one of his strengths. I would agree that is something he prioritizes big time.
If I'm in such an endgame, and I think my best play involves a word that I'm 99% sure of, and I see other certain wins with words that I'm 100% sure of, I do play the 100% certainty words. Which I guess is my choice.
Not sure why it keeps on showing blanks when they're typing it in. They must be making an error when they're typing, but either case, they have the right letters down, just not the right scores.
So guys, I think we have another game.
Yeah, they decided 5
Yeah.
instead of 4.
So stick around. We'll be bringing you another game soon, and that game is going to be Jesse Day versus Mark Nyman, runner-up, which will be very interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to go off here pretty quick. I'm going to see if I can get them on Facebook Live, on my personal Facebook, to talk about this game a bit. Wag is a pretty good one that I'm going to talk to Jesse about.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we get some insight from Hubert as well. In the meantime, I'm going to sign off here, and we'll be back with our next round shortly.